Doesn't matter where we've been, 'cause this time I know for sure we're going home to win. That's before your time. That's before your time. I don't know what you guys are here listening to these days. So yeah, he's going to take a lot of heat, man. WBO 160-pound champion Billy Joe Saunders is taking on 21-2 with 6 KOs Willie Monroe Jr. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live, 1:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, July the 7th, 2017. The fight is taking place September the 16th, 2017, in a Copper Box Arena in Hackney Wick, London. Now, Billy Joe Saunders last fought Logan Wolverine Artur Akavov. All right, but he goes by Wolverine. He even fucking gels his hair like Wolverine. No bullshit. He even have a picture, so like a photo shoot of like him with the claws and shit. And truth be told, on first viewing, I ruled the fight a draw. And I even was like, yo, Billy Joe Saunders like got a gift. And Billy Joe Saunders was very honest during the post-fight interview. You know, said that he looked like shit. Now, to Billy Joe Saunders' credit, there was talks of him and Lemieux fighting, and they were in some type of talks, but David Lemieux has a minor shoulder injury, or that's what I've heard. He has a minor shoulder injury. Nothing that's going to put him out for a long period of time, but not enough time for him to have fought Billy Joe Saunders. And you know, David Lemieux can be real sinister sometimes. You know, he was saying something like, basically, I think that they hired some get high, you know, some get high dude from like South Philadelphia in the worst part of like, you know, the Tasker Project somewhere to run David Lemieux. Some dude, you know, who has illegal pistols and drinks Mad Dog 2020 and hangs out on the corner. They hired some guy like that to run David Lemieux's Twitter. Some dude that done beat many homicides. Some dude that is just always out on the street, always beat all his cases. You know, and if you say something, he'll just get you off the streets and send you home to Jesus. Because the shit he be saying on his Twitter, or the shit he be saying to social media, like on social media, and you be like, yo, like go look at what he said to David, to Curtis Stevens before he knocked him out. Look at the way he was talking to Billy Joe Saunders. You know, Billy Joe Saunders can talk some shit. By the way, I'm a big Billy Joe Saunders fan. I just, you know, it's just that he's in a tough spot because now it's like put up or shut up. You know, now let's look at it, right? He fought Andy Lee when he won the title in 2015, December 2015. He's had only one fight since then, and that was against Wolverine. He was in talks to fight Canelo. I interviewed Oscar De La Hoya, and Oscar De La Hoya said they offered him money, and now they said, and then Oscar De La Hoya said that they were going to cut the offer in half because the way he looked against Akavov. You know, there was talk of him and Golovkin. They were in talks, but Golovkin was like, nah, fuck that belt. We got to get Canelo now. The Chris Eubank Jr. rematch was happening, and then we all know what happened with that. If you don't, you know, the blame was on Chris Eubank Jr.'s side. He went to sign with Matchroom, and then that whole deal got fucked up. Now he's with Pox and Sports fighting Arthur Abraham. However, if he wins, he's going into that big World Boxing Super Series tournament. But fans are not going to be clamoring to see Willie Monroe. However, it is a solid opponent, the most solid opponent since Andy Lee, but that was only one fight ago, or 2 fights ago. And truth be told, you know, it depends on how you look at it. I've ranked Willie Monroe and Chris Eubank Jr. kind of on the same level. Because let's be honest, we really still don't know who Chris Eubank Jr. is with the lack of competition he's been fighting. I mean, he legitimately lost to Billy Joe Saunders, no controversy. Even though, you know, he started coming on late. Maybe he started believing in himself too late. But, you know, now that the fight's official, you know, people are like, he fighting Willie Monroe. Who else? But if you really look at it, if it's not Golovkin or Canelo, also, he's got mandatories lined up. Billy Joe's got mandatories lined up. So, you know, it's like after this fight, it has to be a big fight, or, you know, or like it has to be a unification. So he has to really hope that if Canelo wins, that Canelo will want to fight him so he can get that big money. But he has to look good against Willie Monroe, so I hope he's taking this fight seriously. So let me go look at the WBO rankings really, really quick at 160 pounds. For those who don't know, when you're champion, you have to fight somebody, you know, in the top 15. So the only names that really are big in the top 15 are Saul Canelo Roberts. He can't get him yet. David Lemieux, number 2. With David Lemieux, we talked about that situation. You got Danny Jacobs. I really want to know, you know, if there was any talks of him or Danny Jacobs and who would be ducking who in that situation. You know, you got Jamal Charlo, but Jamal Charlo's fighting for the WBC mandatory, the green belt. You got Luis Arias, who's low in the rankings at number 12. You know, so outside of that, there's really no names that really need to be mentioned unless it's a unification. So Willie Monroe is ranked number 5. So basically, that's how we got the fight. So who's unavailable? Number 1, Saul Canelo Alvarez is unavailable. Number 2, David Lemieux is unavailable. Royoto Murata is facing Hassan Indam again, so he's unavailable. Number 4 is Rob Brandt. You don't know who he is. I know who he is a little bit, but you definitely don't want to see that. Number 5 is Willie Monroe. Number 6 is Danny Jacobs. What happened with that? Were they ever in some type of talks? Then number 7, a guy named Francis Lafreniere. You know, you don't know who he is, right? Number 8, Walter Coutan Duquois. So imagine if he would have fought those guys, you would have been like, oh my God, you know, like, and then number 9, Jamal Charlo, but he's fighting Jorge Sebastian Highland, you know, for the WBC mandatory. You got Tommy Langford. Didn't they already fight before? Billy Joe Saunders. You got number 11, Masag Salaki. I'm probably butchering these guys' name. Number 12, Luis Arias. He just fought on Ward Kovalev 2 card. You know, but would fans really accept him as an opponent? And also would Billy Joe Saunders go that route with like a high, you know, low risk, you know, well, high risk, low reward situation? Then number 13, Conrad Cummings. Who is that, right? Number 14, Rafael Bergera. Now, remember, I've seen a lot of these guys fight at least one time. I'm just talking about how the public opinion, the general public will perceive it. You know, 14, Rafael, we already talked about him. And then number 15, Emmanuel Aline. So, once again, the big names that he could have fought, Saul Canelo Alvarez is unavailable. David Lemieux is unavailable. Murata, you know, was unavailable. Danny Jacobs, what happened with that? You know, Jamal Charlo is unavailable. Luis Arias, So, if you really, really think about it, and remember, he had to either fight those guys, move up in weight, drop his belt, or fight Golovkin, you know, because of unification, Trump's a mandatory. So, there really wasn't that many options out there for him. But since I know the politics and everything, you know, I can see like, okay, all right. You know, I can be like, okay, I can see why it's Willie Monroe. But to the general public, people are going to slaughter it. You know? And Willie Monroe is one of those type of fighters that everybody likes. It's like, well, how can you not like Willie Monroe? But at the same time, fans don't want to see Billy Joe Saunders, who's only had one other fight prior to winning the belt. And the belt's been somewhat held hostage. It's not like he hasn't been trying to get a fight. You know? So he can fight any one of those guys that those other names I talked to you about that nobody really knows. In what, another YMCA, or over there they call it a leisure center. That's no good. You know, where's he getting his money? Where's he getting? We ain't been fighting. Where's he getting his money? You know, I mean, I understand he's got a little bit of sponsorships, but man, you know, this all screams advancements. Like, here, you know, just here, take this money. And then when you get that fight, we're going to get our bread back. Just an assumption. Hey, I don't know. I don't know. Just an assumption. You know? So, once again, if it's not, you know, you got to accept Willie Monroe. You got to accept it. You know, you got to accept it. And then you can't be mad, you know, because he is trying. He did call out Golovkin at the London press conference. You know, said he lost his pen. Golovkin wasn't trying to hear that shit. He was like, you know, I don't get none of these verbal back and forth. My fucked up English. Speak to my promoter. But I think it is safe to say that after this, you know, he has to fight. You know, and it's crazy. One thing I'm looking at is how they maneuvered the rankings so that his mandatories is not his mandatories no more. He had to. Oh, we forgot to talk about Kurt Cedes. It's too late in the video. We got to talk about that in the next Billy Joe Saunders Woody Monroe video. You know, he was booked on Rico. Him and his whole squad. We got to talk about the... Nah, we done run out of time. I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. Billy Joe Saunders, WBO champion, defending his title against Willie Monroe Jr. September the 16th, 2017, over in London. Of course, it's going to be on BoxNation. I wonder if Showtime will pick it up. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't even think HBO... I don't know, man. I don't think HBO will pick it up either. But I'm going to watch it. Maybe they'll put it on AWE. Who knows? Please subscribe.